You're what? I haven't come. That's true. That's true. I'll definitely be there for the Posada, for sure. That's
great.
That's the highlight of the year. Okay. Okay, everyone. Abril is going to be gracious enough to talk to us about closings, right? Closing documents and all that stuff?
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes, that's right. Okay, hello everyone. My name is Abril, but everyone calls me April. I feel like it's because it's easier to pronounce it. So I am part of the closing team. I have been during a rental for quite a while, and not sure how involved you are with closings. This is the last step in buying and financing a home. So we are the team that basically takes care of creating the closing package that includes, reviewing the CDs. CDs are the closing disclosures. This is where we have all the things that were involved for the closing, like appraisal, closing costs, the cash to close. Everything is listed there. We take those items and we create the final CCD. It's our final close disclosure. And we also create the contracts. It may be the lease agreement or the home buyer agreement. Those are for years, sorry. We make sure once that we receive the closing requests from the processors, we make sure to review the closing disclosures, that the numbers are accurate. We send the package, and usually it takes around 72 hours to have the closing done. If everything is, without any issues. We need to make sure that all the parties sign. That means Tully Beaver and also the home buyers. We send the documents to the title companies, and we need to receive the funds from the home buyer and retain our fees and send the amount that belongs to the title company.
Old school guy.
Once all this process is done, we request the contracts, a copy from the contract signed, and the original is delivered to our offices in Utah, and that's how we can finalize our process. That was quick, right?
That was great. I had to unmute the mic.
Yeah, it's one of the most important steps, but still we need to make a lot of reviewings back and forward with title companies and lenders, but it's the very last step of the process.
Can you, thanks, Abreu. That's great. It's a great overview. Can you run through the documents that you look at to do your job and how you do them? Do you have a file maybe you're working on that you can take us through so we can just have an understanding? We're trying to give everybody a full picture of what the process is. And if you want to share your screen.
Well, once we have the closing request, there are a few documents that we need in order to begin creating the contracts. For example, we need the appraisal. This is where we have the inspection report. We need the title commitment. We need the closing disclosure from the title company and from the lender to make sure that the numbers are matching, that they are balanced. We need to have the invoice from the insurance. And let me think if I'm not forgetting. We have appraisal, title report. Sorry, my memory. And what else? Appraisal, title commitment, both the closing disclosure, the invoice. Oh, and I was forgetting the closing request form. This is a form that the processors send to the lender, so we can have the full details around the title company, the lenders, and everybody that's involved in the process. On the closing disclosures, we review the closing costs, the cash to close that is already agreed by title and the lender, and other items. And in the appraisal, we make sure that we have the correct appraisal value, the purchase price of the property, and with all those items, we are able to finally get which are going to be the final cost for that specific transaction. Please let me know if I am explaining myself correctly, because I know that it's a lot of information.
It is. Is there any way, can you throw those on the screen, some examples of what you're talking about, like tile commitment, all that stuff? I don't know if you have some that you're working on right now. We'd love to see them. If you can share those with us.
Try and share my screen. Yes. Give me 1 second. Let me open a few documents so I can show you, and it's easier.
So again, guys, this only applies to EEP, right? The GDL team is engaged in the earned equity program. For normal down payment assistance, none of this applies.
I like that whale.
Vineyard Vines, baby.
It's a nice shirt. Feel good.
Ian and Shep Murray, 1998.
1998?
Former Wall Street guys. Quit their job on Wall Street to make ties.
Give me just one moment to access to that file.
No worries.
It's like
Yeah, it's a New Hampshire thing. What Martha's Vineyard is where they started, right?
I don't know, I know Black Dog started there, but I think you're right.
What'd you say? What?
I said it's like the Affordable Care Act.
I know, dude.
You gotta read it.
It's worse than
Find
that.
out what's in it.
It's only 200 and something pages.
Didn't you read the whole thing?
Me?
Pelosi.
Oh, she didn't read the whole thing. Come on. She can't even read. I shouldn't say that. She's obviously very bright.
So why are you cheering for the Dodgers anyway?
Hey, don't be talking baseball. She's, once he goes baseball, he's off the track. Let me see your phone. Let me see your phone, by the way. I'm going to see if this. Yeah, have you been following the game?
It's only the first inning. Oh no! Good job. Sorry, busted me.
Dude, listen, if you're willing to risk my life when I'm asleep driving to freaking Oklahoma in a rainstorm,
That was a tornado.
in a tornado, then you're probably willing to just not pay attention on this stupid training. All right.
Okay, can you tell me if you are able to
We can,
see my screen?
we can see it. Yeah, it looks like you've got the CS portal pulled up.
Okay.
Okay, class, come to
Yes,
order.
that's right. So this is actually a file that I just worked on recently. We first received the closing request from our processor. That means that the file is finally cleared to close, or CTC. That is when they have, fulfill all the conditions that were requested to be able to receive a loan in our
Okay,
hands.
good.
So once I receive that request, as I was saying, we need a few specific documents to be able to create the closing package. First of all, we need to have the invoice, because it's important that they share which was the last invoice for insurance that they received for this loan and that it's approved. We received 2 closing disclosures, one from the lender. Here you can see it says O Western, and one from the title company. Well, we need to make sure that they are both balanced. That is, how do you know that? Well, that's pretty easy. You will need to open your CDs and make sure that the cash you close, here you see it, 5,264 with 36 cents, is the same amount on the other CD. When we have both amounts correct or the same, it means that the CDs are balanced. Here's like the detailed information of how much is going to be the loan amount, the interest rate that they got for that loan, principal and interest, mortgage insurance, estimated escrow. All those numbers, they need to be accurate, because that's how we create our package. This is the closing request form from where we take the information of the parties that are going to be involved. And, and then we go and open our workbook. Have you seen our workbook before? Can you see it now? Because I just changed the screen. Okay, this is the document that we all use. It's basically to enter all the information that we need before creating a closing package. This, of course, we make sure that everything is accurate. We enter the date of disclosure, the closing date. How do we know the closing date? we check that information on our CD. We take, in this section above, we have closing date and disbursement date. We enter the disbursement date in our documents, in all of our documents. That's like the last day that they can have to sign. That doesn't mean that they cannot sign early, they can. For example, if I receive a closing package with disbursement date for the 11th, but I receive it on the 8th, I will enter the disbursement date, and if the clients need to sign earlier, they can do it. Okay? So, as I was saying, we enter that information in our workbook. We make sure that we have the name, the address. We collect that information as well in the CD or the appraisal. Let me open the appraisal again. I closed it. Great mistake. Give me 1 second.
You guys saw commitment for title insurance in there too?
Oh.
We're still with you. Nobody's falling asleep.
Okay.
They're hanging on every word.
That's good. Tell me why I'm boring you. This is the appraisal report. Basically, it's the description of the property that they are buying. It has the legal description, which is the parcel number, the address where it is located. We as closers need to make sure that we are having the correct address. So when the closing, when we send the memorandum for reporting, we don't have, issues with the county or it doesn't get rejected. So we check address, the city, the state, the county, that everything is correct. And the appraised value is basically based on how old the property is or how new it is, and it's compared with the properties in the same neighborhood. So let's go back to this. Oh, sorry. Okay. So here, as you can see in our workbook, we enter the address, the parcel ID, the email and the phone from the home buyer, how much the house is costing, in the appraised value. Not sure if you remember, I showed you very quick that all this information that I have, it's taken from the city. So again, all the figures are taken from there to make sure that our final numbers are accurate. Every time, because this happens, with every other loan, every time there's a modification on the closing cost or the cash flows, seller credit, any slight change, we need to receive updated closing disclosures, and we apply those changes and send new documents. Because, and again, all our numbers need to be accurate. We take the legal description from the title commitment, which was over here. This is provided also by the title company. And here we have our legal description for this specific property. Once we put all that information in our workbook, here's what we call our final close disclosure. Because basically it's the disclosure of all the fees, and it's the final based on the figures given on the CD. Are we so far so good? Okay.
Yeah, you're doing a great job. Thank you.
Okay, so this is the breakdown for our fees. We already have a standard fees for a program, like the notary fee, the underwriting fee. Basically, the only items that may change would be the homeownership agreement fee. It's a percentage from the purchase price, so of course that depends on which property they are buying. And first month payment again.
They call it program, underwriting, processing, all three.
The price of the property, the escrow, and the insurance.
Program, underwriting, processing fee, $12.50
We
is what they
have
call
this
it.
section over here, and all these numbers below, the summary for the FHA loan, are taken from the CD. We take the down payment that the home buyer provide, the closing cost listed on the CD, the offer mortgage insurance is also taken from the CD, earnest money, and seller credit. Once we have all this, we collect that all the information is correct.
You guys, they don't minus out finance
And
closing
the
costs from the
buyer
total.
will need to wire
That doesn't come off their
to
closing cost
the
total. We'll talk
river,
about that.
meaning us, these final funds. These funds are the sum of the cash flows from title and Tule River fees. Here I can show you. These cash flows plus our Tule River fees give us as a result the total cash that the home buyer needs to wire.
Right.
It's part of our process.
Like I said,
money, all the funds
cash to close
need
plus
be
those 3
wired
items
to
within
the
$400
river.
bucks.
And then once we receive this, we will wire over to title the amount that corresponds to them, which is the cash to close.
And one of you guys, they've
And
been
that's
wiring
all
directly to
transaction.
title,
Once
not
they
to the
get,
consumer.
those funds, they can begin the disbursement.
Let's talk about that.
And we will just be then waiting for the documents. Would you like to see how do we create the documents?
Yes, I would, but who are your big offenders that are wiring directly to title instead of wiring to the consumer? Is it Panorama?
So, yes.
Well, they do more submissions than anybody else, so that makes sense. Like they're the biggest.
How
So
much do they close?
Yeah.
50%. Well, you're in that office. Can't you just go kick a few butts, April?
I can, but I am now on the 13th floor and they're on the 14th floor, so it would be
Ask them if they've gotten any better.
Have they gotten any better than they, or is it they're starting? It sounds like they're starting to bring on new brokers, and the new brokers are starting to do this. But in general, have they gotten better?
Yeah, they have gotten better. Just there's just one loan officer that keeps doing that, but hopefully he will, start following the process.
You're fine.
Who is it?
What's his name? We're gonna find him.
Oh, can I?
You can
you can.
send it to Tawny. Send it to Tawny. She's gonna hunt him down.
I don't want to make anyone feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, I don't want to make
No. We are about making people feel uncomfortable until it makes it comfortable. So that's what you have to do, so they don't screw it up, because it screws up closings. So you have to let us know.
She has
Yes, and talking about that, it's very important that the funds are sent to us because it's truly River purchasing that property in the name of the home buyer.
Right.
So whenever they do not follow the process, it doesn't look like truly River is buying that property, if that makes sense. It will just look like we receive the fees from title company, and then the home buyer just wired to them their portion. So this is why we need to ensure that they send all these funds to us.
Perfect. All right.
So,
We
so let's say that
we have about
you were saying?
we have about 3 or 4 minutes to wrap up, and so go ahead and tell us your next thing, and then one of the things that they need to know is what are the things that screw things up. So what are the biggest mistakes that you see? So show us this next thing, then tell us the things that mess up.
Something that happens a lot is that they send us when the lender and the title company send their CDs unbalanced. And that means that they are forgetting a fee or they didn't have their cash flows matching.
So that's CD.
That delay the process a lot.
Back to the
Because we have
CDs.
products for sending the closing package and for signing. For example, for signing our product is 3:30 Mountain Time, and if we do not receive those documents correct and signed at that time, they will lose, the pickup from FedEx, and that will delay the process for closing. So that would be, in my opinion, the most common mistake, that the CDs, the closing disclosures are not balanced. So we need to have all the fees and, every item that had affected the closing listed on those documents. So we don't have any mistakes then.
Are you the person?
The closing can go smoothly.
Are you the person that interacts with Thule to get all the signings done, the notaries and all that kind of stuff? Who sets all that up? Is that you?
Well, I assign who's gonna sign the documents from Tule River, but that's it. I just monitor that we get the closing completed.
Okay, so you
If
can.
that makes sense.
Yeah, you have oversight of the process, and so you're interacting with everyone like Sabrina and all our signers and stuff, that kind of thing, to make sure stuff gets done.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And I am in most communication with the lenders and with title, because they are the ones who provide the closing disclosures.
We might have you come back and talk to us maybe tomorrow to talk about just that process specifically, organizing the signers. Because I feel like that organizing the signers is a key thing that everyone needs to understand for EEP that can get fouled up. And I think we have to kind of give some insight to the lenders when we train them on that.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
And I mean, whatever it is needed to improve this process.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Abril. We're really grateful that you took the time out of your day to do this. Everyone, any questions? Okay, round of applause for Abril. Thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate everything that you've done and coming on here today. Thank you very much.